Now on Good Morning El Paso, breaking news. El Paso police investigating a crash that killed a pedestrian. We have the latest developments in a live report coming up.
New development on explosions that happened right here in New York City and in New Jersey. I'm Ray Raymundi and I'll have the latest on the investigation coming up next.
Plus, El Paso police are also investigating 2 stabbings that happened over the weekend on the west side.
Where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Well, good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. Thanks for waking up so early on this Monday with us. I'm Hillary Floen. Before we get to our first forecast right now, we begin with breaking news. One person is dead after being hit by a vehicle. This happened in the Lower Valley just before 1 a.m. at the intersection of Yarborough and Carolina. That is where we find Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live with more details. Denise.
Good morning, Hillary. At this hour, Yarborough is back open again. We're just near the intersection of Yarborough and Carolina, but we can tell you that traffic is once again moving along. And now we've moved over to the other side. These are the southbound lanes of Yarborough that you are looking at. And this is where the woman, we're hearing the reports that it possibly was a woman, but the police department has not confirmed that. These are the southbound lanes where it appears that pedestrian was crossing the street. Earlier, of course, as you can imagine, there were a lot of police units here on the scene and first responders as well. And we do have video from our round-the-clock crew that was shot just shortly after this crash happened. Right now, El Paso police not releasing too many details, but we know when we were out here, we did see what appeared to be the shoes of the pedestrian that were thrown here in the middle of the street as well. So at this point, we don't know if alcohol was a factor in the crash or even speed, but we do have to note just how dark it is. Really, the only lights you can see are from the park that are across the street, but other than that, here on this section in this section of Yarborough, there are not too many street lights. We did speak with some people that were walking around the park, and even they just mentioned in passing the same thing, that it's really dark out here every single morning when they are walking out here. So again, once we find out more information from the El Paso Police Department, of course we will pass that along. But for any drivers who are headed in this area, we can tell you that Yarborough is back open again in both directions. For now, we are live in El Paso's Lower Valley. Denise Olivas, ABC7.
All right, thanks so much, Denise. And now at 6:02, let's get right to Nicole Gomez and talk about the week ahead weather-wise. Good morning.
Good morning, Hillary. We're off to a nice start as far as those temperatures are concerned. Let's take a look at your morning planner for El Paso and Las Cruces. We start out in the 60s and around the 8 o'clock hour, low 70s and a little warmer at 9 o'clock, 73 and 72 in Las Cruces. Clouds and radar, we're off to a dry start. That will also be the case this afternoon, not tracking much rain in the forecast. And as you can see from our storm outlook, where most of the moisture will remain throughout the afternoon, Sierra Blanca and Van Horn. That's where I'm going to keep the rain chances in place. But this is what you need as you plan your day. Sunscreen, because it will be hot. Just keep that in mind. Make sure you stay hydrated. You're also going to need those sunglasses. We will see near record temperatures. Of course, I'll have those details in your full forecast. But at 6:07 with your weather and traffic on the 7s, we'll get you out the door with those current temperatures. Hillary?
We'll look forward to it. Thanks so much. And now to the headlines. A number of updates on the string of devices discovered in and around New York City. As many as 5 people are being questioned, and that's in connection to that bombing in the heart of New York. New York police say 28-year-old Ahmad Khan Rahmani is being sought for questioning in those NYC blasts. Meanwhile, this morning, investigators are trying to determine whether explosions in both states are even connected. ABC's Ray Raymundi is live in New York City with the latest developments on this breaking news.
The New York metro area on edge this morning. Another device discovered overnight in New Jersey, just miles away from New York City. 5 devices found inside of a backpack, one of them exploding after bomb experts attempted to disarm it. This while authorities say it was right near the Verrazano Bridge late Sunday night, where FBI agents stopped what they call a vehicle of interest connected to the bombings. Federal authorities trying to get a clearer picture as to who's responsible for placing the device in that Manhattan neighborhood. The explosion, the chaos, all happening on a balmy Saturday night. Law enforcement on the hunt.
The evidence we've collected is being taken to our lab at Quantico for review, and we are following every viable lead as we continue to work jointly with the NYPD.
Piece by piece, investigators are closely analyzing every particle of debris left, including looking closely at this dumpster, twisted and mangled in the aftermath of the explosion.
It was louder than thunder, but I could feel like it was just a large boom where the building kind of shook.
I got some type of explosion inside of a garbage can.
Meanwhile, federal authorities looking into whether a pipe bomb which exploded in this trash can 60 miles away in New Jersey is related to the bombings in New York City.
The word is that both devices are pressure cookers, that they were certainly similar in construct.
The explosions and a stabbing rampage over the weekend in the Minnesota Mall, which investigators are calling a potential act of terrorism, sparking renewed fears across the country. New York City is bracing for an onslaught of security with world leaders arriving in New York for the UN General Assembly. Law enforcement officials are strongly encouraging vigilance and to report anything suspicious. Ray Raimondi, ABC News, New York.
Still no word on any arrests after a stabbing Sunday morning. It happened on the 200 block of Gus Rallis around 3 a.m. on the west side. Police say a woman was stabbed and taken to the hospital. ABC 7 still working to learn the identity of the victim. Meanwhile, no other details have been released yet. Police are investigating another stabbing in West El Paso, this one yesterday at 11 a.m. on the 5400 block of Ridge Street on the west side. Police say one person was taken to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. No word on any arrests. An Arizona man is dead after a crash that happened Saturday night in Anthony, New Mexico. It happened right at the intersection of Starn Drive and Highway 460. Police say 44-year-old Gerardo Ceniceros was driving when he failed to turn on a curve and struck a guardrail, rolling over. He was taken to UMC where he died. Police say the Phoenix man was not wearing a seatbelt and may have been drinking and driving. It's 6:07. Let's check in with Nicole for a little preview of what's to come this week for our forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, Hillary. I can tell you it will be hot today, but we start off with very comfortable temperatures in El Paso. Here's your bus stop forecast. We range from the upper 60s to low 70s with light winds in the forecast. Las Cruces even cooler. Some locations currently sitting in the 50s. So if you're headed out right now and as you get the kids ready, you may need a light jacket. Southeast winds are very light to start out the morning. But across southern New Mexico, you can see where those 50s are at the Farm and Ranch and Mesilla Valley Christian School. 58 is the temperature. At the El Paso airport, we're mild at 69 with a few clouds in place, but no rain. Currently 63 in Las Cruces, winds out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Throughout the region, we're in the 50s, Ruidoso, Alamogordo, 69 at the Pass, and 68 in Van Horn. Coming up in your full forecast, we will see near record highs today, but I'll let you know when we're expected to see a cool down and the return of the rain. That's coming up. Stephanie?
All right, thank you, Nicole. Now taking out to your traffic flows, where we are seeing some activity in northeast El Paso. This just popped up. You can see that the westbound lanes of Trans Mountain are pretty slow, 5 miles an hour, 54 miles an hour. Once you pass whatever this slowdown is, police not reporting anything at this point. Also want to take you back over to McCombs and Railroad, where this continues to be an issue. 11 miles an hour going south on McCombs to get onto Railroad, and again, it is slow going. You may want to avoid all of this by taking Diana down to Diana by Hondo Pass to avoid that if you want. Also over on the east side, this is Lee Trevino and Pebble Hills going south and going east. You can see it is slowing down a bit out there, and that slowdown on Pebble Hills continues all the way over to George Jeter, where as you can see George Jeter has gone back to normal out there. Also want to take you to downtown, where we continue to see some slowdown over here by El Paso Street. Very slow this morning. And again, your drive times, red to executive, looking pretty good. But as you can see, Sullivan Park to Zaragoza is slowing down 19 miles an hour, 19 minutes, and 13 minutes to get to Wrestler to downtown. Also want to let you know Bridge of the Americas is a 35-minute wait, 40 minutes to get across PDN, and Ysleta has a 30-minute wait. Of course, you can always follow us on KVIA Traffic and on Facebook and Twitter and on KVIA.com. Hillary?
Thanks, Stephanie. We'll have more to come here on Good Morning El Paso today. Great news. The Chihuahuas are now the Pacific Coast League champs. What's next for the Dogs and how you can be part of the action? That's coming up. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.